Today, I am directing our House committee to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden.
Republicans have been investigating the president's family for months, and this is sort of the next step in this drumbeat of investigations. Part of it appears to be pressure from hard-right members of the party, and part of it, some of his caucus members even say, could be a diversion from essentially doing his job as Speaker. McCarthy has found himself in a bit of a pickle. When he ended up having 15 rounds of votes to become the next Speaker, he agreed to allowing a single lawmaker to hold a snap vote to oust him from the speakership. And now he's facing pressure from far-right members of his party to appease their demands. And now there's pressure when it comes to making certain consolations when it comes to the spending bills. And then there's also the impeachment factor that we're seeing play out right now. This is being seen as one way to alleviate some of the pressures that McCarthy is facing. An impeachment inquiry is essentially an investigation put together by members of Congress to evaluate, look at the evidence to see if the person who's potentially being impeached actually committed these impeachable offenses. But I think it's really important to emphasize that impeachment is, although it's in the Constitution, it is essentially a political process. Members of the House vote on these kinds of things, and the House isn't necessarily immune from the political influences in their vote in this case. McCarthy had previously suggested that having a floor vote would be the way towards pursuing an impeachment inquiry. That calculus totally changed in the last week when, from our reporting, that the leadership team surveyed the conference and found that there wasn't going to be enough votes on the House floor to support an inquiry. There are Republicans in the caucus who have been wanting Biden to be impeached for a while, and there are also Republicans who say there's not enough evidence to support an inquiry and there's not enough evidence yet to support impeaching the president. So that gives you a sense of where within the Congress and within the party of where things are at right now. That doesn't mean things won't change, but TBD. So now that an impeachment inquiry has been launched, the committee heads appointed by McCarthy, all Republicans, will be leading essentially an investigation that's zeroing in further on what's been presented in the past regarding allegations having to do with Hunter Biden and the Biden family and the potential implications for the president and whether the president was actually involved. The White House and the president's re-election campaign are pushing back on this hard.
The evidence does not exist, and this is a political stunt.
There aren't really any Democrats in Congress who have signaled support for an inquiry or impeachment. What we've seen is that Trump's impeachment so far have gotten more public support than this Republican-led investigation into whether Biden should be impeached. And so it's going to take quite a lot, I think, or some bombshell to move the needle in any direction other than support for the president. So far, it hasn't really done much to sway voters one way or another. Whether or not that will add to the larger conversation about Biden's electability has yet to be seen.